beating the Newark Pilots by a 9-2 score here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And Bryson Ho out for the bottom of the sixth inning. And his first pitch is lifted by Tanner Geisel. Tanner Giesel, but it is caught by center fielder T.J. Dixon for the first out of the inning. And Bryson Ho just became the first Elmira Pioneers pitcher to record an out in the sixth inning this season. A few games ago, actually 2 games ago against the Newark Pilots, right-hander Sam Sinnen was getting ready to toss the bottom of the sixth when the game was halted because of rain. So Ho, the first one to record an out in the sixth, but not necessarily the first one to start pitching there. And there's a strike. Nice pitch from Ho. And after allowing 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, able to stop the Pilots there, and his offense rallies for 9 runs behind him. And here's the 0-1 from Ho. There's a strike. Quickly ahead in the count 0-2 against designated hitter Sam Wiggins. Pioneers with another big offensive night. 11 runs last night, and now 9 runs already here. And that one, it freezes him right there. Couldn't quite tell what the umpire was calling, but evidently it was strike 3. And you look at Bryson Ho there, really the same pitch 3 times. Sam Wiggins just waiting for him to throw something else, and he never did. Nice job by Bryson Ho and Drew Fisher recognizing that the pitch was working, so you stick with it until the hitter shows that he's going to react to it, and Wiggins never did, so there's the easy strikeout for Bryson Ho. That one's fouled away by Luis Silverio, who's really been a thorn in the Pioneer side of this game with a pair of hits. And Bryson Ho ahead of count 0-1, hoping to retire him this time around. And that one, fastball, moving away some late sink, and ended up a solid deal away from the strike zone. So the count now 1-1. And here's a pitch from Bryson Ho, and it is a jam shot to third. Taylor Hilson will not have a play. And that was going to be really a tough play for Taylor Hilson. He had to come up with it, really ranging very far to his left. You almost want to see the shortstop Nick Walker get a better break on that, because Hilson really getting that ball. You don't have very many third basemen that would really get to that ball. Hilson getting to it, but it's unable to make a play. And, of course, with the speed of Silverio, really not very much time at all.
Yeah, and you're really impressed, Robbie, by the play of Silverio tonight. You know, his brother getting drafted as a pitcher, skied high in the air. Dixon settling under it in center, and he's going to make the catch. So the infield hit goes for not for Newark, but really like the play of Silverio. He's looked very solid tonight. That's his 3rd infield hit. He showed smart base running. Also has played great out in center field for Newark. So really it looks like a good all-around player developing in the Silverio family after his brother got drafted.
Yeah, the Pilots losing the older brother, but it seems like they're going to be losing nothing, as Silverio really a different player. His brother had a good deal more power, but really with that speed can make an impact, and although his team is trailing, he's definitely doing that in this game.
So it looks like the same pitcher will come back out for the Pilots as Andrew Tidwell. Really didn't have to break that much of a sweat as he threw 3 pitches to the only batter that he faced to end the inning, and that was Taylor Hilson. As Hilson struck out for the first time in the game. So Elmira has taken a 9-2 lead as they've put up all 9 of their runs in the last 2 innings, thanks in part to 2 home runs, a 3-run shot off the bat of Christian Santisteban, and then a solo home run from Zach Bellinger. So both of the Pioneers' first basemen that kind of platoon have shown power here tonight from Elmira, and manager Matt Bridge has got to be loving that, Robbie.
Absolutely. Like, these are the big power bats in your lineup. They entered the game with not a single home run, although they had looked good at the plate overall. And now really contributing the power, and what a lift it is for the Pioneers as their offense really surging. When was the last time we saw the Pioneers' bats really hitting quite this well?
Definitely would have to go back to in the playoffs last year in the series against Watertown, as Elmira really used the bats well in that series, and then continued them over to the series against Amsterdam, in which they fell short in the championship series. And now a pitcher swung on by Fisher. Fisher is going to hit that one out to center, but that one's going to be caught by Silverio. So a loud out number one for Drew Fisher to kick off the top half of the seventh inning here for Elmira.
And Fisher seeing Santisteban go deep. And then he saw Bellinger follow suit, and he says, hey, those other two left-handed hitters just hit home runs. Let me try. And he gave a good effort there, just coming up a little bit short.
So this pitch will miss high for a ball.
And Armbrust does have an RBI in this game on a sac fly and hoping to get on base here.
And a strike called here on the inner half of the plate against Armbrust, who has an RBI in the game on a sacrifice fly out back in that fifth inning.
And I'm kind of relying on my memory here, but I feel like a couple of games ago, maybe I think it was in the Pilots' 13-3 win over the Pioneers, Tidwell did look very good, able to down the Ios and help keep that game a blowout. And here he is again, and he's recorded 2 outs, although now he's behind, and there's a base hit, so even better than the hitter Armbrust being ahead in the count is obviously going ahead and cashing it in for a single. So there's the first hit by the Pioneers off the pitcher Tidwell. That's their 9th hit of the game as their offense just continues to sizzle.
As Armbrust deposited that one right back up the middle, it was right on the fastball. And that'll bring in Skirpon, who is 0 for 2 on the night, but has scored and walked. Also stolen a base.
Doing a little bit of everything, and you can't ask for anything more from your 9th hitter.
He breaks his bat here. A chopper to the shortstop. The flip to second. Wagner the turn to first in time for the double play, and that will be the first 2 outs of the inning. So Elmira will now look to their leadoff batter, Joe Guarana, with 2 outs.
It looks like Skirpon was safe. I think there was already 1 out, so they did rule him safe. So there'll be Skirpon beating out the back end of the double play.
So 2 outs in the inning as Fisher was the first out of the inning on the fly out to center field to Silverio. So Skirpon will reach on the fielder's choice, and now a pitch low here to Guarana, and they will check down at first. Umpire says that the batter did not go. So 2 outs here for Elmira in the top of the 7th inning. And that pitch is going to be chopped foul down the first base line.
And how Joe Guarana in this game, replacing Chris Galusian, who was ejected in the top of the first, and he's really looked good, Doug.
Yeah, he really has. Really has impressed me since he joined Elmira. He brings another dynamic to the Pioneers' outfield as Guarana was going to watch this pitch here in the dirt.
And umpire says that he went, so Guarana behind in the count 1-2. So a little bit too fooled by that breaking ball from Andrew Tidwell, and Tidwell 1 strike away from getting out of the inning without any further damage.
And a pitch here is a chopper into center field as it was over the glove of the pitcher Tidwell, and not able to get there was the second baseman Wagner. So it's a 2-out base hit for Joe Guarana, his first hit since coming into the game. He's now got a 1 for 3 night. As T.J. Dixon will step up to the plate. Dixon started out the night 0 for 2, but he's really been on fire his last 2 at-bats as he's got a single, a double, he's scored 2 runs, and he's also got an RBI to his credit.
So a single, a double, and now continuing that sequence, they're looking at a triple. So let's see what Dixon can do here. Certainly has the speed to pull that off.
And Dixon is going to watch this one go low and inside. A freshman out of Sanford. With Elmira leading Newark 9-2 here in the top of the 7th inning. 2 outs and runners on first and second for Elmira. The pitch, and that's a called strike.
And Dixon, like we mentioned before, is really a starter from day one and a top-of-the-order guy at Sanford, and he's come in here after really a tremendous year for the Bulldogs, leading them in stolen bases and walks, and really been one of the Pioneers' best hitters. And that one looks like Falney really could have made that one look better, but he got the block instead of catching it cleanly, so there'll be a 2-1 count on T.J. Dixon as he hopes for his 3rd hit of the ball game after, like Doug mentioned, he began the game 0-2. Pioneers hitters getting quite a few at-bats thanks to all the runs scored. They have 9 runs on 10 hits here at the top of the 7th inning.
And the pitch coming from Tidwell. That one's swung on, and that one's going to be fouled. So the count will even up 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning.
And you have to be impressed by some of the secondary pitches shown by Tidwell. Really, curveball, maybe that with a little bit of a change-up, and able to keep the Pioneers hitters off balance as he hopes to throw a shutout inning.
And this one is going to be fouled back again, is able to stay alive as T.J. Dixon.
Another curveball from Tidwell, and nice job by Dixon just staying alive. Really an excellent pitch. All you can do is try to foul tip that, and that's exactly what he did. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. The Pioneers holding a 9-2 lead over the Newark Pilots here at Colburn Park in Newark. Tidwell trying to put away Dixon. And he'll miss down and in, so the count will be full. And an additional benefit for the Pioneers is that both runners, Taylor Skirpon from second base and Joe Garano from first, will be off with the pitch. And an extra base hit by Dixon could score both.
And that will be a walk, and the bases will be loaded with 2 outs. So that's the first time that T.J. Dixon has walked this evening. And that will bring in Nick Walker to the plate.
And we really have to talk about Walker's last at-bat. The Pioneers have 2 home runs in this game, one each by Christian Santisteban and Zach Bellinger. And Walker, something a little bit different. He looped a single in the right, and then a misplay by the right fielder allowed him to go to third, and an error on the throw by shortstop Tanner Giesel allowed him to score. So went around the bases on that play, but needed the help of 2 errors to do so.
And a pitch hit by Walker, and that's going to be gloved by the second baseman, Wagner, on a great play as Elmira will strand the bases loaded, and they will hold on to their 9-2 lead. As it's 7th inning stretch time here at Colburn Park with the Pioneers up 9-2. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as Bryson Hull comes back out for the bottom of the 7th inning. As he has pitched 6 innings of 2-run ball, has allowed 5 hits, and has struck out 4 batters on the afternoon here. As the lights in full effect now, pitch swung on here by the center fielder, Silverio, and a nice play at first as he will be out.
And once again, Bryson Ho into uncharted territory for the Elmira Pioneers. Now has gone 6 1/3 innings and really has looked great, hasn't he, Doug?
He really has. It's definitely been a great performance. Like you said, the only inning he really got into trouble was that inning that Newark scored 2 runs, which came in the bottom of the 4th inning. And after that, it kind of like he settled himself down after Elmira went out and scored those 6 runs. And he's just been in a groove again that he was really in the first 3 innings. And he looks to try and continue that here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
That one bounces in, and that'll be ball 1. And you talked about, Doug, after that big top of the 5th where the Pioneers scored 6, how could Bryson Ho recover from sitting on the bench for so long? And instead of really using that to mess with him, he used it as an opportunity to relax and really get right back to what he was doing as he tossed shutout ball in the first 3 innings of this game.
And a pitch here will miss low and outside, so the count 2-0 to the batter Hairston, who is walked once, has also grounded into a fielder's choice. And a pitch here is chopped over the glove of Ho. The second baseman Walker fields at Skirpon, actually, and he'll make the out at first. So nice place by Taylor Skirpon to record the second out. Skirpon's looked good at second base tonight. A little change up as Walker moves over to shortstop. They look like they've aided each other nicely tonight.
Yeah, really, the entire infield has looked much better. Taylor Hilson did allow an infield single, but on a play that could have been ruled an error, but was called a hit. But he made a couple nice plays. Walker's looked fine. Skirpon has looked fine, and even Christian Santisteban, we've kind of been talking about how Zach Bellinger is the better first baseman for the Pioneers, but Santisteban clearly making an effort to improve his defense at first base, and really with a couple of nice stretches and the scoop there to help Bryson Ho and the Pioneers record a second out here in the bottom of the seventh. And here is the 0-1 offering to catcher Chris Follenus.
Good pitch there by Bryson Ho as he's able to freeze the catcher for strike two.
Bryson Ho, we'll have to see if he comes back out for the eighth, if he gets out in this pitch, but maybe trying to put a good finishing touch on his outing. And look at Drew Fisher there. He was confident that was going to be strike three, but the umpire having no part of it, and it will be 1-2. The umpire kind of patting him on the hip, like, sorry, Drew, that was not strike three.
And the pitch is going to be fouled over off on the third base side. So the count will hold the ball in 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the seventh inning from Colburn Park. And Newark, Elmira with a 9-2 lead against the Pilots after picking up their 9 runs in the 5th and 6th innings. And this pitch is going to be swung on. A foul over on the right-hand side. And that one's going to get out of play.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of a strange thing with Drew Fisher getting ready to walk off the field. Often you see the pitcher taking a couple of steps towards the dugout, but there was a catcher, and Fisher a little lucky that the umpire kind of has a sense of humor and isn't really going to cost him there. You never want to make the umpire unhappy by presuming a call before the umpire actually makes it.
And this pitch is swung on, and again, that one will be fouled off over on the first base side. So now a battle going at the plate here between the catcher of Full News and the pitcher, Ho.
And if you're Bryson Ho, another chance to end quite possibly your outing with the best possible way, a strikeout.
And this one swung on, a hopper to Hilson at third. He has to slow it down, makes the throw to first in time. And that will be the third out of the inning as Bryson Ho cruises through the 7th inning as he sits down Newark in order, 1, 2, 3. As he gets 3 ground outs in the inning. And Elmira will come to bat in the 8th inning, looking to try and increase their lead here. As out on the mound here for the Pilots, it looks like it'll be a new pitcher. As we'll work to see who it is.
And really can't talk enough about Bryson Ho. Really quite an outing, and instead of ending the inning with a strikeout, he ends it really with the type of thing he's been doing the entire night, and that has been forcing ground outs. Really unbelievable job, except for in that rough 4th inning, keeping the ball down, getting the strikeout when he has needed it, and after the Pioneers got him that 6-run 5th inning, it really appeared to change everything after he had experienced a rough time in the previous frame.
And Bryson Ho with 10 ground ball outs tonight through 7 innings of work here for Elmira. And as to go along with those 10 ground ball outs, he's also got 4 strikeouts. Actually, 5 strikeouts. Sorry about that. As he had 1 in the first, he also had 1 in the 3rd, and then he came back with 2 in the 6th. And he also had 1 in the 4th. As new pitcher here for the Pilots, as it'll be number 3, Daniel Imbro, a sophomore at Hendricks out of Little Rock, Arkansas. As he will be the 5th pitcher of the night for Newark, as Newark has definitely dipped into their bullpen. Elmira is still working with their starter out there on the mound.
And we're here in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, so you want to give a lot of players chances, but at the same time, Matt Burke's recognizing that when you can have a starter give you 7 innings, it just helps you a lot in coming games. Really, you have your best relievers, and you can toss them out for the next contest instead of using them here. And really, what a job by Bryson Ho. Really, the outstanding combination of groundouts and strikeouts. And Really, this Pioneers offense is just as impressive with the home runs by the batter at the plate, Christian Santisteban, a 3-run shot, and also the solo shot from Zach Bellinger. And Santisteban ready for the pitch from the new pitcher, Daniel Imbro.
As he leads off the 8th inning. And Santisteban is going to watch a first pitch strike as Santisteban just one hit on the night and 2 official plate appearances. He is 1 for 2. A home run, a 3-run home run, and then a ground out. Also has walked twice. And a swing and a miss here and a healthy cut there by Santisteban. The count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
Santisteban looking for a fastball that he could deposit in the right field, well, over the right field fence. No right field seats here.
And this one is hit into left field. That one hangs up there, and the left fielder has to go to the slide, and a nice catch by Wilkes. As that one seemed to go into a next stratosphere before it came down, and that'll be the first out.
And yeah, very nice play by Wilkes, and he's a guy who really began the season for the Pilots expecting to be a pitcher, but he just slid over into left field and has been their leadoff man. Really an excellent player for them on both sides of the ball.
So Zach Bellinger steps in and watches a first pitch called strike after going yard for his first time in 2014 in a Pioneers uniform. As he is 1 for 3 on the night, and that one a called strike as he turned in. It looked like it almost hit him. But it's a called strike, so 0-2 the count quickly to Bellinger. He has been hit by a pitch back in the 5th inning and scored a run. And this is a bouncer, a 58-foot curveball. As that one came off of the mask of the catcher at Full News.
A nice job by Bellinger laying off the curveball, and still alive in the count. It's 1-2. And the pitcher, Imbro, is ready, and he winds and deals.
And that one's going to miss for a ball.
So nice job by the hitter Bellinger, working from 0-2 to 2-2, and now trying to take advantage of the even count.
And the pitch is swung on, a chopper to the second baseman, Wagner. His throw to first is going to be in time for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring in Taylor Hilson.
And the Pioneers, they were finally put down without scoring a run last inning, and now the new pitcher Imbro trying to do the same here. Luckily for the Pioneers, they're 7 runs, so you can afford to have the offense slow down just a little bit, but at the same time, you look at these hitters and you always want to score a couple more runs, pad your statistics, and you never know what can happen in baseball. There's no time limit, so if you pitch badly, the Newark Pilots can come back. So just want to keep padding your lead and just make sure nothing funny happens at the end of this game.
So a 1-1 count here to the third baseman, Taylor Hilson. The pitch is going to miss low and away from Imbro. Imbro 5'10", 165 pounds, a right-hander. As we said, the 5th pitcher of the night for Newark. As another one's going to sail low here. So the count quickly 3-1. Drew Fisher in the on-deck circle for Elmira. And here's the offering. As that's inside, and that's going to be a 2-out walk to Taylor Hilson. So the first walk issued by Imbro. And that will bring up Drew Fisher.
Pioneers with a 2-out base runner here in the top of the 8th. And let's see if Drew Fisher can take advantage. Fisher with a single in his last at-bat and hoping to follow the momentum and deliver another base hit here.
And Robbie, that's the 7th walk issued by Newark pitching tonight, as Elmira has showed their patience at the plate.
And that's one thing that bugs you about the line score. 9 runs, 10 hits does not tell the full story.
And a first pitch called strike to Fisher, who was 0 for 3 on the night, but has been on base. Got hit by a pitch in the 5th inning. Did not come around to score. He'd like to try and join in the hit parade. This bouncer in the dirt, nice job by the catcher, News, to keep the runner from going to second, as Hilson had to hold up.
And Pioneers standing again here in the top of the 8th, at least to some extent. They have a runner on first with 2 outs, and Fisher hoping to drive him in.
The pitch is swung on, and that's going to be through for a single past the second baseman. That's going to go into right field. But coming up with it this time and getting it back in quickly is the right fielder Hairston. So just like that, Elmira with their 11th hit of the night, and Drew Fisher picks up his first hit. And that gives him a 1-for-4 night, and runners on first and second for Elmira.
And for the Pioneers, it's always just a great thing. You want to end this game on a strong note, and certainly doing so. Big lead. It's going to be a nice win no matter what, as long as your pitching can hold it, and the offense just keeps surging.
So Elmira now with 7 of their 9 batters with at least 1 hit in the ball game tonight. As the only 2 left to try and join the hit parade for Elmira, Taylor Skirpon, and also the other player for Elmira that needs to try and get in the hit parade is going to be Grania, but he got that hit in the 7th inning, and hence is going to be the 3rd out of the inning, as Elmira is going to strand runners on first and second as we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Elmira holding on to their 9-2 lead. As we'll take a break, and it looks like a pitching change for Elmira, as we'll have the call at the bottom of the 8th inning when we come back on the Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
Hi, everyone, and we are back here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network, and we will finally have a new pitcher. That's right-hander Blake Euler out of the University of Kentucky, and what an outing it was by Bryson Ho for the Pioneers, and he went 7 innings, allowing us 2 runs on 5 hits, striking out 6 while walking 1. He's the first Pioneer to work into the 6th inning, let alone the 7th, and really provide a huge lift for this Pioneer staff, and Euler making his 2nd Pioneers appearance. He's a nice story, as he transferred from Pennsylvania to Kentucky and walked onto their team. There's a fly ball on the left, and it will be a fair ball and playable for John Armbrust. Really made a nice running catch to get there, and that'll be the first out of the inning.
So nice play there by the left fielder Armbrust, as he had to stretch all the way out for that one and made the athletic play to help out the new pitcher from our Blake Euler.
And really can't praise this outfield defense by the Pioneers anymore. It seems like anyone who throws out there has really done a good job. And that one is inside from Euler, dealing with second baseman Tommy Wagner. And Euler set for his 2nd pitch. And here's the 1-0. There's a strike. Euler pitching in his first official game of 2014 after NCAA transfer rules required him to sit out this season for the Kentucky Wildcats. Here's the 1-1. And that one is just foul, so Euler ahead of Wagner, 1-2. And in his Pioneers debut a few days ago, Euler went 2 strong innings, allowing just 1 hit, striking out 1 while walking none, so hoping to build on that right here. 1-2 is swung on and missed. Nice pitch by Euler to send out Wagner, and there's the 2nd out of the inning. that first batter a little bit more sketchy. You need a nice play by the left fielder Armbrust, and then Euler taking care of that one himself and recording a strikeout. So there's 2 away, hoping to work a quick bottom of the 8th inning and send the Pioneers a little bit closer to victory. Here is shortstop Tanner Giesel. Looks pretty good at the plate and in the field for the Pilots against the Pioneers. And that one is inside for ball 1. So Euler behind in the count, 1-0. Euler, a 6'4", 170 right-hander. Lean and a lot of room to add muscle and maybe even add velocity. And that one is down and away, and Fisher unable to block it. So no harm, no foul because there's nobody on base, but Euler now behind in the count, 2-0. And
stoppage in play here, as fixing the gloves will be the batter Giesel as he fixes his gloves. And the pitch from Euler, and that one swung on and missed. A live fastball from Euler. He looked good in his outing against Amsterdam. Really looked like he controlled the batters after coming in for relief of his Kentucky teammate, Logan Salo. As Elmira was able to pick up a huge win against the defending PGCBL champion Amsterdam Mohawks. And here's another good pitch in across the knees for strike 2.
A couple of fastballs by Euler, and appears to be hitting pretty decent velocity, and he's showing some nice late movement on that. That one moved down and in at the last second against the hitter, Tanner Giesel.
And the pitch is going to miss, and the count will go full 3 balls and 2 strikes to the number 3 batter, Tanner Giesel, with the designated hitter, Sam Wiggins, on deck. Euler trying to work a 1-2-3 bottom half of the 8th inning. Here comes the payoff pitch, and that one is going to miss high for ball 4. Thought it was no call from the home plate umpire, but it's going to be strike 3. And the most unemphatic strike 3 call to end an inning that you'll ever hear as Elmira gets out of the inning, and we will head to the top of the 9th inning with Elmira leading 9-2 as they'll come to bat here leading the Newark Pilots, looking to try and make it 2 in a row against the Pilots and make it 4 in a row overall and try to take over first place in the Western Division of the PGCBL. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the top of the 9th for you from Colburn Park in Newark, New York. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
Hi, everyone, and we're back here from Colburn Park in Newark, New York, as the Elmira Pioneers hold a 9-2 lead over the Newark Pilots, entering the top of the 9th inning. And the new pitcher for Newark will be Chavis Leitar, and one of 3 players on this Newark squad out of Cortland State. He's originally from Fergus, Ontario, Canada. Here's the first pitch to Taylor Skirpon. And there's a strike, and Skirpon, Doug, really trying to become the final player on the Pioneers to record a hit. He has already reached base.
Yeah, he's the only one out of the starting 9 for Elmira outside of Chris Kaluzian, who did register an at-bat in the first inning before getting ejected. But he has bet on twice, reached on a fielder's choice, and reached on a walk. And definitely have liked his at-bats tonight. He's also grounded out to the shortstop, but he also hit a nice fly ball out to center field that was fielded by Silverio. So it's not like he's looked bad in his at-bats. He just hasn't been able to get one where they ain't really and pick up a hit here. But Elmira has definitely brought their offense here with those 11 hits on the scoreboard to 5 for the Pilots. And right now it would just be really a confidence booster for Taylor to pick up a hit here and get all 9 Elmira batters that are currently in the lineup with a hit. And this one is going to be popped up and fouled out of play behind the backstop here as the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And how about the Pioneers? Really with a strong game in every possible facet. You have the excellent pitching of Bryson Ho and then a nice frame by Blake Euler there. The offense scoring 9 runs, and the defense, one questionable play by Taylor Hilson. That's really it.
And this one again going to be fouled out of play is the new pitcher Travis Latar for Newark. And it will be the 6th pitcher of the night for the Pilots, a sophomore out of Cortland State.
Who would have imagined that the Pilots would use 6 pitchers in this game after how good Stephen Powell looked in the first 4 innings?
And this one is driven down the right field line as over towards the bullpen trying to make the catch was Hairston. And he makes the catch, so that will be the first out of the inning as Skirpon still unable to get that first hit of the game. As that will take things back to the top of the lineup for Joe Guarana, who got a hit his last time up back in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3 on the night with a walk.
Guarana showing bunt and pulling back, taking the strike, trying to do his best Chris Kalusian impression after replacing him both in the leadoff spot and in right field, and not quite Chris, but doing a nice job. And second pitch to Guarana is another strike, and he's quickly behind in the count 0-2, hoping to finish this game on a strong note.
And he's facing Latar. Latar sets and delivers the pitch, and that one's going to be fouled back into the netting. So the count will hold it 0-2. Latar actually pitched here at Colburn Park in the Division III men's baseball playoffs for Cortland. And his 0-2 is a breaking ball. Chops high off home plate. The shortstop Giesel charging for it. The player first, not going to be in time, as the speedy Guarana is going to beat it out for his 2nd hit of the night. And he's got back-to-back singles. And he also keeps the 9th inning going here for Elmira as T.J. Dixon steps in. Dixon walking his last time up.
Latar really ending this game with spectacular numbers for the Pilots. 4 innings pitched, no runs on 2 hits, striking out 4 while walking 1, and he's also recorded 3 different saves.
And this one drilled right back up the middle, so back-to-back hits here for Elmira have doubled the hits that Latar had given up on the season before coming into this appearance. And now Elmira's got runners on first and second here with 1 out. And now a 3-hit night for T.J. Dixon after he had 2 last night against Newark. He's got 2 singles, a double. He's also walked, and he's grounded out and popped up in this one with an RBI.
So interesting to see Latar working in a non-safe situation and trying to get out of the inning unscathed.
And this one must low and away here to Walker. Walker has got 3 hits on the night, all singles. Singled in the first, singled in the 5th, and in the 6th inning. He came around to score in the 6th inning. A pitch here, popped up high in the air. The catcher, Foley, was sitting under it, and he's able to hold on to it. And that'll be the 2nd out as the runners will stay where they're at. And that'll bring Christian Santisteban up to bat.
And what a game for Santisteban with that 3-run home run and hoping to finish the game with another big hit. He has a runner on scoring position, another runner on first with 2 outs, working against the closer for the Pilots, and that is Travis Latar, albeit in a game where the Pioneers are leading by 7 runs.
And a strike called here As watching that one all the way was Santisteban, who hit a big 3-run home run for Elmira back in the 5th inning. Excuse me, in the 5th inning, as he scored Dixon and Walker. It was his first year. Now a bouncer in the dirt, and the runner is going for third, and behind the plate, Dixon going for second. So they advanced the base on the pitch that was into the dirt from Latar, and bounced awkwardly off of the catcher, Fullanews, as it was Gorana, the lead runner, that decided to start things. So runners on second and third now. And this one swung on and missed by Santisteban as he went right through the fastball.
And Santisteban with a home run in this game, but a couple times now, really big swings and swing and misses, and you have to make sure he doesn't get too power conscious. If he just continues with the gap-to-gap approach, he'll be just fine.
And a swing and a miss on the fastball. Santisteban not able to catch up to the pitches from Latar. So Elmira strands 2 more runners on base, and we'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Elmira leading Newark 9-2. As you're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as a pinch hitter will lead off the bottom of the 9th inning for the Newark Pilots. As the pinch hitter will be the 3rd Newark Pilots catcher to get into this game, Logan Boyer, a sophomore out of Columbia. We've seen him in each of the 4 games now that these 2 teams have played.
And Blake Euler back on the mound, hoping to finish this game.
First pitch called strike.
So a pitcher and hitter have the letters O and Y in their names, so fun facts. And Euler trying to send Boyer down. And that one is fouled away, so well on his way to doing so. He's ahead in the count 0-2. Euler able to follow Bryson Ho's tremendous 7-inning outing with a scoreless bottom of the 8th and trying to finish the game here. That one is up and in. Not particularly close to hitting Boyer, but still not exactly the zone that you want to be in as a pitcher. And it's a 1-2 count. And here's the pitch. That one is swung on and fouled away. Really a similar spot from Euler, and you have to think that pitch was not intentional. Trying to go definitely farther down, but maybe missing a little bit, getting too much on the glove side and too much on the side of his pitches and his delivery.
And this one's popped up. Maybe it'll stay in play. Fisher's going to give it a look. And that one will get out. So battling at the plate is Boyer. 5'10", 200-pound catcher.
And Euler really going up 3 pitches in a row. He has them all set up for something down. Let's see if he can execute a pitch there and get Boyer out and pull the Pioneers within 2 outs of victory.
And the 1-2 is going to be inside. Nice eye there by Boyer to not offer at the pitch. So they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here. Bottom of the 9th inning. With a 9-2 lead against the Pilots. Blake Euler trying to close things out. The pitch is swung on. This one's going to be into left field. That'll fall in front of Gorana. And a nice job by Boyer leading off as the pinch hitter and coming back from trailing in the count to pick up the Pilots' 6th hit of the night and the first against Blake Euler. And that'll bring in Luis Silverio. Silverio with 3 infield singles tonight as he's 3 for 3.
So Euler and the Pioneers hoping to finally get him out. It's quite a lead for the Pioneers, but still just want to retire him finally.
This one's popped up into the air. Guarana charging in. And he'll make the catch, and heading back to first will be Boyer. So that hit by Boyer for Newark was their first hit since Silveria reached on an infield single back in the 6th inning. And now he's retired for the first time tonight. So he's got a 3-for-4 night.
And if you're a hitter like Silverio, really you don't want to be hitting the ball in the air. So after hitting the ball on the ground and reaching every time, that one, he was able to elevate, but didn't result in a positive thing, as it was a very weak fly out to the left fielder. And if you're Silverio, you're definitely hoping to hit for power. You have an older brother who was just drafted after hitting a pair of home runs for the Pilots in his brief time with the team, but at this point is really all about speed. Just hit the ball on the ground and beat it out, and that's what he's been able to do in this game. That time, though, putting the ball in the air and not getting the right results.
And this one is fouled back over on the third base side, is not able to get ahead of that fastball was Clock. Really liked what we've seen from Euler now in his second appearance with Elmira. We were interested to see what he would show, not having pitched competitively this year for Kentucky, having to sit out with those NCAA transfer rules. Now golfing one off of the dirt and through the legs of the first baseman, Santisteban. Is going to be the baseball hit by Clock. It looked like it was going to be scooped up by Santisteban. But that's going to be an error on Santisteban and the Pioneers' first error of the game. And that'll put runners on the corners for the Pilots as Boyer goes first to third on the play. And that will bring in Zach Wall, the third baseman for the Pilots.
And Euler now in trouble trying to escape the jam. And that one is inside for ball one.
See how Euler reacts to that error from his first baseman.
If you're a pitcher, errors happen behind you. You have to show the ability to work your way around them. Instead, behind the count 2-0, and not the best reaction by Euler so far after the error by Santisteban. He's trying to come back over to plate as Euler, and if you get a ground ball at one of your fielders, that can mark the end of the game if you can turn a double play.
And this one popped up in the air. And Dixon going to make the catch, but they're not going to send the runner home as Santisteban holds on to the cutoff throw, and the runners will stay at first and third. So now 2 outs, and Elmira just 1 out away from trying to close this game out and pick up a 9-2 win.
And the runner on third base really kind of caught in no man's land, hoping that ball would drop, but then Dixon able to come in and get it, and he's unable to score. It is a 7-run game. All that would have done is make it a 6-run game, but if you're the Pilots, you definitely want to score everyone possible, and this didn't quite work out over there. And here's Dorian Hairston trying to keep the game alive for the Newark Pilots.
And this one is low and away, so Dorian Hairston, the batter. He grounded out to the second baseman, Skirpon, back in the 7th inning. It was the last inning in a 1-2-3 inning for Elmira starter Bryson Ho. And the pitch from Euler is going to be low and away for a ball. The runners leading off first and third.
And Euler may be feeling the pressure a little bit here. He's gone behind in a count 2-0 on consecutive batters, and let's see if he can respond once again. There's a ground ball to short, and it cannot be fielded by Nick Walker. See how they score that, but in any event, a run will score and make it a 9-3 game in the favor of the Pioneers. And they will rule that a hit. It will not be an earned run against Euler after the error by Santisteban, at least thus far. And Newark able to score after not scoring since the 4th inning, and now we have manager Matt Bursch coming to the mound. Let's see if he is just in to settle down his right-hander or maybe make a pitching change.
And the first time that we've really seen him out for a mound visit to kind of calm down a pitcher, as he didn't have to go out and talk with the Pioneers starter Bryson Ho. So it's a 9-3 ball game now on the RBI single for Dorian Hairston. So he joins into the hit parade for Newark as they now have 7 hits.
And looking like someone just ran out to the bullpen to warm up for the Pioneers. So Oilers are certainly trying to finish this game, but the Pioneers getting someone ready just in case. So 2 outs, and there will be runners on first and second for the Newark Pilots. They trail by 6, and Blake Euler trying to finish the game for Elmira.
So the batter is the catcher, Folanews, as they pitch from a slow 1-0 from Oilers. So Oilers started out the inning fairly dominant, but now these last couple of batters have started them out with a ball rather than a strike. And this one is fouled back, the fastball. Folanews just got a piece of it. Elmira will be home tomorrow night as they host the Glens Falls Golden Eagles. First pitch, 7:05 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive a free Pioneers poster schedule as Elmira welcomes in the Golden Eagles for the first time in 2014, a team from the East Division. Hopefully they'll welcome them in being in first place in the West Division. The pitch is popped up, and that one's going to get out of play. Fisher quickly gave it a look, but won't chase it. So they count 1 ball and 2 strikes now here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Elmira leading Newark 9-3, and runners on first and second for the Pilots.
And nice rebound by Euler. There are a couple of consecutive strikes, and now Pioneers has 1 more strike away from finishing off this game.
And the 1-2. And that's going to be the 3rd strike. Where's the strike call from this umpire? And that's going to be the game as Elmira picks up the 9-3 win. As Elmira now has won 4 in a row, and they will take over first place by half a game in the PGCBL West Division as everybody's standing on their feet here at Colburn Park as the Pilots do get 1 run in the bottom of the 9th inning. As Elmira picks up the 9-3 win, they get 9 runs on 13 hits and 1 error. And for the Pilots, they get 3 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. As a great overall performance, they rallied by really the Pioneers pitching staff, as it was early on them having to rely on the Pioneers defense, but after the defense woke up, the pitching really controlled the rest of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryson Ho, 3 shutout innings to begin the game. The rough 4th, but then the Pioneers scoring 6 runs with the help of a 3-run home run by Christian Santisteban, and Ho does the rest for 3 more innings, and Euler, some struggles by his defense in the 9th, but nice job by him, escaping with only 1 run allowed and an unearned run at that. And really a great all-around win for the Elmira Pioneers. The offense scoring 9 runs once again. They've scored at least 7 runs in their last 2 games against the Newark Pilots. And the pitching of Bryson Ho becoming the first Pioneers pitcher to throw a pitch in the 6th inning, let alone the 7th inning, as to really cap off an incredible outing.
So that'll do it for our broadcast here tonight, as clearly the Pioneers player of the game offensively has to go to TJ Dixon, as he had 3 hits on the night, a double, 2 singles. He also stole a base, drove in a run, and he's just been on fire as of late for Elmira, and they've really got a shining star in the freshman All-American out of Samford. So Pioneers will head home tomorrow night to Dunfield as they will welcome in the Glens Falls Golden Eagles. First pitch set for 7:05 p.m. as everybody through the gates will get a free poster schedule as the Pioneers will welcome in the East Division Golden Eagles for the first time this year and look to try and keep their winning streak going. So it'll do it for us here from Colburn Park as the Pioneers pick up a 9-3 victory as Bryson Ho gets the win, his first of the year. And that will do it. We thank you for listening in so long for Doug Page and Robbie Knopf from Colburn Park in Newark, New York.